Welcome back, folks. Nice to have you along. We carry on taking a look at what's happening in the world of club rugby. Of course, every Wednesday night from 9 to 10. Of course, our repeats on Saturday. Right, so, well, if you've just joined us, then you will know that we spoke to Chuma Kwalelwa from United Way a little bit earlier on, who was, of course, telling us about the outreach project that Western Province Rugby is doing as part of the Women's Collective Awareness Campaign. And of course, in this case, World Literacy Day is being celebrated, and one of the partners there is Pay It Forward South Africa. Joining me on the line now is Nambrata Daya from Pay It Forward. Nambrata, welcome to Cape Rugby TV.
Good afternoon, JP, and thank you for having me on the show, and hello to your listeners as well.
Nambrata, fantastic initiative. Last year we saw United Way coming on board with Western Province Rugby and doing food parcels and really helping the clubs out during what we all know is extremely difficult times. And this year, Western Province Rugby has just taken it to another level, again partnering with United Way, but now Pay It Forward is in the picture as well. Just tell us about this initiative well, in fact, let's start at the beginning. Tell us, what is Pay It Forward?
So Pay It Forward was kind of created in the COVID context. It actually started last July. We were looking around to see how we could support the communities, in Johannesburg and around nationally. Whilst a lot of people were doing food parcels and hygiene parcels to support the many, many families that have been impacted by this pandemic, we as a family decided that, we needed to do something more. There were a lot of children and lots of parents working from home. Schooling was done online. And then we realized that there was actually a big, huge problem in that with all the guys, all the people working from home, the children working from home, and what would they do to stimulate their thinking? How would they have access to, things to keep them busy? And so one of the things that is very dear to our hearts is actually encouraging the love of reading. And, that was inspired by my dad, who actually never really completed schooling, but always ensured that we had books in our household. He was a subscriber to the Reader's Digest. I'm sure many will relate to that. And so we looked around the house and we thought, sure, we really have 200-300 books around. What are we going to do with it? We don't need it anymore. And so we decided to find a way to send it into the hands of the household and into the hands of people who would actually need it. And so that's what inspired the project. From that point on, it started with a very small idea, because obviously with COVID, it was difficult in distributing. We had to clean the books, sanitize books, and do all of that. But it started with, as I said, our household cleaning, out our own home. We started with 200 books. And then I handed them off to United Way, who I've been working with Mariska actually at United Way for a very long time. And she distributed it to the Rugby community with the food and hygiene parcels. And we had an overwhelming first response. And there was just this need that we realized that we needed to continue to do this work and continue to put the hands of, the books in the hands of the people, because what we didn't want is just to be lying around in boxes, in sheds, and waiting for distribution. So United Way came to the party, and obviously subsequently to that, we also worked with Western Province Rugby, and I sent them a whole lot of books, and today's testament of the initiative that happened today. So that's how
everybody's very excited about it. As I was saying, Chuma, we saw the guys in the back office behind the scenes packing books and splitting books between primary school and high school, and trying to make sure that the primary school kids weren't getting the matric books and and vice versa. But Nambrata, it's a fantastic initiative. I suppose this also goes a long way towards children being able to read something at home, especially for those who maybe don't have data or internet access.
Correct. So a big problem in South Africa is not just literacy and solving all the problems around literacy. I mean, the big problem is accessing books. And whilst there's a big move to, for digital play, we have millions of households that don't have access to digital platforms, considering the data is expensive, and, the households are actually just struggling with basic services at the moment. So getting actual books in the hands of the children in these households, and also the parents and other adults for that matter, I think is one of the good ways of actually encouraging reading, developing the love for reading. And basically, we are testament of that same scenario. We had a lot of books, and where we are today is because we had access to information and data, and we can do these kind of projects going forward, just to support communities that don't have it.
The element that jumps out for me, Nambrata, is that it just goes to show on our side again that sport and the world of rugby has the ability to reach wide communities, and that sport goes far beyond the four white lines, so to speak, and that the world of sport really does have the ability to change lives.
So I agree with that fully. And I mean, Western Province has certainly done a lot of community initiatives. I mean, not just in the world of literacy and books, but obviously in supporting, the communities around Western Province.
Yeah.
I think the Women's Collective is an excellent idea, and definitely ties into the fact that most parents and women, would drive those kind of initiatives with their communities to make their lifestyles better and to improve their lives, and just to encourage people to ignite their imagination, solve the problem of the future. This is what Western Province really is very good at doing. And I'm glad that we could tie up with them, and that these two things came together. I think they do a phenomenal job, and I can't thank them enough for trusting us to work with them. And today, 2,500 books between high school and primary. Yes, it is a challenge to kind of sort through them, but it's an amazing, like, it's just phenomenal, I think. Yeah.
Nambrata, we'll leave it at that. We'll say to you, thank you very much. Congratulations. Great initiative. And yeah, we wish you guys all the very best for the future and the next endeavors.
Thank you very much for having us. And we encourage reading. And so every book counts. So the more we can help, we're happy to do so going forward. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thanks, Nambrata. There we go, folks. Nambrata Daya from Pay It Forward. Of course, with the arranging the books then for Western Province Rugby to hand over to schools, which is absolutely fantastic. After the break, we're going to show you some of the footage from behind the scenes as we went out to Khayelitsha, to Delft, as well as to Kylemore, where the guys were handing over some books there as part of the Women's Collective. And of course, a number of the Women's Collective were on site to help with the books handover, which is fantastic. Right, folks, well, as you know, on a weekly basis, you can put yourself in the mix to win a case of Score energy drinks, all right? So if you want to put yourself in the mix to win this week, a case of Score energy drinks, as well as a set of masks, courtesy of CTC Sports, well, then all you need to do is go to our Facebook page and enter our weekly Spot the Logo competition. It's very easy. What we do is we take a logo, we make some changes to it, and then we post it and see if you can recognize it. So, of course, if you're a club rugby enthusiast, the chances are pretty good that you will know the logo, although it's not always that easy. But anyway, go into our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV, and go and look to see what this week's Spot the Logo competition is. Last week, it was Hamilton's Rugby Football Club. Now you've got it. That's the answer, the correct answer to what the logo was that we asked you to spot. And congratulations to David Sanderson. David, you are our winner this week. You spotted the logo. You said it was Hamilton's. We'll get a hold of you on Facebook Messenger and tell you about how you can collect your case of Score energy drinks, as well as a set of Cape Rugby TV masks. Right, folks, as I said, when we come back from the break, we take you on the journey with us as we went with Western Province Rugby to Khayelitsha, to Delft, and to Kylemore, and showed you how they handed the books over to the schools as part of the Women's Collective Awareness Campaign. Don't go away. It's great footage.